What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. We've got a really cool guest joining us all the way from London, England. Please welcome Keith Fraser. He is the author of Cojones-Grow a Pair for Success, and also a podcaster, a speaker, all these wonderful things. Keith, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Deanna. Wow, you're from my favorite city, Chicago. What can I say?
Yes, I love Chicago. I love the city. I love it. You know, actually, I love all major cities. I have never been to London, but I plan on one day. It's on my list. But can you introduce yourself, Keith, and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Well, I've got a very polymathic kind of background. Property or real estate, as you call it. I'm still involved in that heavily. I've always been an entertainer, singing, playing guitar, comedy. I used to do impersonations at boxing dinners. And I've been a salesman. I used to sell pages of advertising at $10,000 a page. I was the top salesman in the company. I've done a number of things, politics, entertainment, you name it. And not long ago, I just thought, you know what? People kept saying, oh, you're very ballsy, aren't you? And I've just done a lot of psychological study as well. Very interested in what makes people tick, communication, influence, and I've studied a lot of psychology and penned it all and under the umbrella of Cojones. I am a strong believer in my message, which is you should be able to do what you want in life, be what you want, say what you like, shut out the snowflakes, shut out the naysayers, and live life according to how you want to live it and not somebody else.
Woohoo! Yeah. Well, this one's gonna be a powerful episode. I'm all about it. That's why we're living label free here. Living label free. You know, I'm great. You know, what's really funny is, I really resonated with your Cojones Grow a Pair for Success. So my late husband and I owned several businesses together, and our one main business, we're in manufacturing in the automotive industry. And I was the vice president of key accounts, business operations. When my husband got really sick, I kind of took over and was running everything. And I remember our production wasn't up meeting the numbers that we needed to meet and like meet the demand of our customers. And we'd have our executive meetings. And there was one meeting I said, because some of my leaders, that's my dog. That's Teddy. So
I'm a dog lover.
Yeah. So some of our leaders were just not manning up. And I said in the meeting, I said, you know what? I have more balls than all of you. You guys in here, you need to step up and lead your team. Like, what's the problem? We're here to get a job done. And it was just, so when I saw this, I'm like, oh God, I have to tell that story. Because it was like I was the only female in this room of men in an automotive industry, and I was just like, how do I have more balls than all of you? You know, like how am I leading things stronger than you men are? It was shocking. It was shocking.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that, Deanna, because when I've spoken to an audience, and there's women in the audience, I have to ask them to stand up and point to their cojones. You'd be shocked at the amount of women who point downwards, and I'm thinking, what? It's in between the ears, girl.
Yeah. Well,
girls.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd be wondering what's going on. No,
anything goes in today's day and age, as they say. You know.
What's that?
Anything goes in today's day and age.
True,
you know?
True. But I think, what you are all about in your book, which I love, and I actually am gonna purchase one. Is it? Where can you find your book, actually?
So you can get it on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah.
Go to Amazon and listen. It's even if I say so myself, you know, I call myself the anti-coach, if you like. I don't know if you're on this new platform, Clubhouse.
Yes.
Everyone's a blooming mentor. Everyone's a coach. I've heard of people call themselves breath coach, dating coach, this coach, that coach. Unbelievable. Utter nonsense, to be honest with you. Completely inauthentic. You know, there are so many gurus in the world. I wish it were true. And you know what? My book gets down to the nitty-gritty. It's partly self-help, partly self-development, but also partly anti-woke. It's kind of, you know, bypass the naysayers. Yeah. Be real, be authentic, be yourself. Say what you believe in. Don't try and be something you're not. And that is the message.
I totally agree. And yes, I talk to a lot of coaches. I've actually am a certified life coach, personal trainer, all that stuff, but I don't use it. I'm not
Yeah.
coaching anyone. I feel like there needs to be a good balance, and one of the reasons why I started Label Free, this podcast, was because I feel like so many people are stuck in this like box, and they are limiting themselves because of these beliefs that they've been programmed to believe and do, and they never fully step into their lives and take charge. And I think that is, I think that's what the premise of your book is stepping into your power, stepping into, owning your life and taking success, or
Well,
owning.
it's interesting, by the way, sorry to interrupt you. And I mean, we've got COVID, or we've,
Yes.
still, and over here we've had Brexit. And one of the reasons that many people say that the British people voted for Brexit to get out of the European Union, because we want union, is to get back control
Right.
of our own lives. Well, I'm saying to people, get back control of your own life.
Yeah.
We grow up from childhood where parental messages, societal messages, media messages telling you what you can and can't be. I'm saying stick the proverbial two fingers up at them and live life on your own terms. I'm not saying that I have all my life, because I'm a work in progress, Deanna. I'm authentic. I'm not going to make out I am this kind of utopian character, because I'm not. Because I've had messages of limitation, or from family, telling you what you can't do rather than what you can.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, no, come on, bypass all of that.
Yeah.
Let's do what we want to do. And you know what? We all need the vaccine for COVID. How about the vaccine for limitation, self-limitation?
I love that. Really quick, I got to take a break to recognize one of our sponsors. Support
Okay.
for Label Free Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels, and women too. We're all inclusive here. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide, and we're going to get women on board too, okay? We have an exclusive offer for all my listeners, 20% off and free shipping. We're using the code labelfree20 at manscaped.com. Here is a sleek little device. I mean, come on, men, women, we can all use it. It's beautiful. Thank you for that short break, Keith. And let's get back to this program.
It's funny actually, Deanna, because I listen to a boxing podcast and they also sponsor that one. So I know all about Manscaped. I haven't used one yet, I have to say. I'm not sure if I want to go down the sort of chicken plucking sort of arena yet, but maybe I just need to grow a bigger pair. I don't know.
I think you've got a big enough pair already. I can tell by the way that the way you're going at life and your message. I think that it's really great, and more people need to step into that power, because we all have it. We all have it. We just need to tap into it.
Well, yeah, we all have it, but the issue is people. And here's the thing: I know there's one of the people who gave me a testimonial for the book is one of the biggest sports promoters in the UK, if not the biggest. He said it's like Marmite; people either love it or hate it, which is cool, because you know why? People don't want to look at themselves in the mirror and be accountable for themselves. Yeah. We live in a world and a society where it's always blaming this one for breaking our world, for saying something we don't like. Grow a pair.
Yeah. No,
get a life.
You're totally right. And I'm very accountable. I'm a work in process, just like you. Every day I'm learning something new. I'm learning how to become a better version of myself, and just like being able to communicate better, becoming more successful in this area, because there's, we all have different pillars in our life, family, career, health, this, that, the other thing. And, some days all those pillars are level. Other days they are not. And, and the days that they are not in balance are days that you can definitely feel it, and you have to like kind of rise up and feel where you're falling short. And I don't think a lot of people want to take the accountability. They want to say, oh, well, it's this person's fault, or it's that person's fault that I'm not reaching my full potential here. And that's why I fell short in this area over here. And it's like, no, really, at the end of the day, you got to look inward to really figure out what's going wrong that you aren't able to to live your life the way that you want to, or do, like, you've done some incredible things. And I love talking to people like you that are so multifaceted, because you have so much wisdom, and you've experienced so much, because you've gone through all those different things, and you've done, see, my dogs are having fun over here. And you've done all these things. And I think that's where a lot of your insight comes from.
Look, at the end of the day, nothing beats experience. Experience is something you need, but you only get after the situation.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I'm a work in progress, as you said. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to push through my own limitations with my own messages. It's funny. I've read my book a few times, and it's motivated me, and I wrote it.
That's awesome.
How about that? So
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty cool. But again, we have to trust ourselves. We have to, we have to be accountable to ourselves. It's so easy to just blame something external. I do it from time to time. Like everyone, we're human. However, this book is about personal accountability. And unfortunately, we live in the blame society of the world. It's always somebody else's fault. They said something I didn't like. Well, you know what? As I said before, grow a pair.
I love it. I love it. You have some questions here. I know we are limited on time, but I like this one. Are you totally confident as a person?
No. It's funny. I'll tell you a story, Deanna.
Yes.
By the way, I have a sister called Deanna, but there you go.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, so no is the answer. You know what? I did a speech once, and my nephew was there. He said to me, Keith, where'd you get your confidence from? How come you're so confident? I said, I'm not. Confidence is not, I don't think you could label someone a confidence. You're talking about label free. You can't label me confident. I have times when I'm super confident and sometimes when I'm full of self-doubt. But of course, the self-doubt is something I have to work on. I've done talks where I've been absolutely scared stiff beforehand, really nervous.
Yeah.
But of course, it's only the thoughts. People read the book that, we are our thoughts effectively.
Yes.
We change those, or we just do nothing, because more positive thoughts do come and go without doing anything. But no is the answer. I'm going around the houses. The answer is no. I'm not a confident person all the time. However, I would say there is a part of me that is uber brave in a number of respects.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of message I want to say. I want to say to people, look, again, you just have to take action in any respect. It's funny. You can be in. I don't want to turn this into a sexist argument, but I've sat in many coffee shops listening to two girls who are having coffee with each other, complaining about their boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, stop complaining to her. Go and speak to the boyfriend yourself, or get rid of him. Be responsible. Take and be accountable for yourself. So no, the answer is, you can learn how to be confident. You can create confident states very easily from the book. There are easy ways to get yourself into a confident state. Just listen to some music can get you into a confident state. There's different tips the book will go into. You're not going to be confident all the time, but it's your life. You have to do what you want, be what you want, say what you want. And that means you have to adopt some interventions to enable you to get from point A to point B.
I totally agree. And this leads me into the next question that you have here. Why is it important for people to be able to speak their mind?
Well, you know what? It's interesting because I, like yourself, live in a democracy. Yeah. I'm proud to live in a democracy. Would I want to live in Saudi Arabia or China or Russia, where if I speak out of turn, I could be jailed or have my kneecaps removed? No. So we take it for granted, democracy, our ability to speak our minds, to demonstrate. So you're asking me why it's so important? Freedom. We all crave autonomy and freedom. You know what? Yeah. Children, they can be 4 years old, and if you tell them that they can't have too many sweets, they get upset. Yeah. Why? They want to make their own mind up.
Yeah.
Autonomy, freedom. And the same thing is our basic right of communication. We all communicate from the moment we're born, even though we're unable to utter the words. We're all trying to communicate. Freedom of speech is vital. Speak your mind is vital, but it doesn't mean go in like a bull in a china shop. There are many softeners that you can use, not to be politically correct, but just to use a little bit of softeners to not go all out and offend and knock all the china off the shelf.
So I have no problem speaking my mind, obviously, or else I wouldn't have a podcast. And sometimes it's been good, sometimes it's bad. I think maybe I need to learn some of those softeners because I can be extremely direct. And like, it's gotten me into some trouble sometimes. And, I try not to engage like I used to engage, but like I have no problem letting people know where, like, if there's something I don't agree with, I don't agree with it. We can have a healthy dialogue. Some people can't have a healthy dialogue, but and
I'll tell you a funny story, Deanna. Before lockdown, I was on the train here in the UK, and I don't know what the trains are. It's been a long time since I've used Amtrak, but I was in the train, and there was a table seat. I was sitting next to somebody to my right, and there were two people sitting opposite. The guy to my right was picking his nose. Constantly picking his nose.
Oh.
I had some food with me, and every time he put his finger up his nose, I turned around to him, and he pulled it out because he could see I was looking. Eventually, I'd had enough, and I said to him, "Excuse me, can you just please stop picking your nose?" Right? And he kind of said, "Oh, okay." And the people in front of me laughed, but he didn't do it again. Now, many people would say, "Oh, I can't. Oh, I would want to sort of put myself up into a shell or roll up into a corner." But sometimes you just got to say it.
Yeah, I probably would have been like, excuse me, do you mind? That's what I probably would have said. I probably would have been a little bit more meaner, but before I let you go, because I know we got to wrap things up here in a minute.
I'm enjoying it, Deanna. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This has been fun. We'll have to do a follow-up or something when we have
Happy to do so. I want to say your podcast is called Label Free, right?
Yes, yeah.
And it's interesting. People we're all judges, aren't we?
Yes.
We judge people. We give them labels.
Yes.
Okay. The only issue you want to think about is the label you give yourself. If people give you a label, you just got to try and bypass it. You've got to, again, be accountable and live label free. Because once you start labeling yourself, you compartmentalize yourself. And when you compartmentalize yourself and put yourself into a drawer, then you're limited.
Yeah. Very true. Oh, beautifully put. I love that. Where can the audience find you? I know you said your book's on Amazon, but what other links can they reach out to you at?
Well, Cojones, spelled as my mother would say, Cojones.biz, B-I-Z. I mean, I have to say, I'm not great on social media, but I am trying to push myself to be more active on LinkedIn and Instagram. I don't like social media per se because I find it slightly disingenuous. And in fact, if you read the book, it shows you what I think about Facebook. I mean, people wishing their 100-year-old grandfather a happy birthday on Facebook is nothing to do with anything else but seeking attention. And I just find that just so sad. So anyway, you can reach me on social media. I'm trying to get more active because I'm trying to force myself. But there you go.
Well, social media is a very powerful, they're very powerful platforms. I understand what you're saying, but once you can wrap your head around like the business side of it and understand it's a useful tool, you can kind of bypass that. Because I am like my boyfriend, he's always like, oh, you just constantly need attention. You're always on social media. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is a tool for me to use for me to grow my platform. I took a class. I went to a 10-week course on how to monetize and use social media to grow your reach. So, and you have to be on there constantly. If you're going to continue to grow your reach and reach more people and have them get your message out, you have to. It's just necessary. It's not going anywhere. It's just growing. We have, like you mentioned, Clubhouse. There are more and more platforms that people are getting active on. That's the world we live in, and either you're going to join them or you're not going to be relevant, unfortunately. And it's very tedious. It is. Sorry, guys. I know whoever follows me on social media, I'm constantly on there for you.
Well, as long as you're not putting pictures of yourself having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in a coffee shop, say, "Look at me, I'm having a cup of tea."
Well,
You probably are, but I don't know. But
no, not necessarily. It's more with people, and I do some photo shoots. So yeah, I put some relevant stuff out there, but yeah, so it's very useful. So I highly suggest you get more on it. I'll be connecting you with on everything and tagging you. So I'll try to get that
that'll be great. That'll be great.
algorithm going for you. But Keith, before we go, do you have any last words of wisdom or advice for the audience?
Listen, in the last year and more, this COVID has hit us big time. There's people who've lost their businesses, people who've lost their property. I'm very fortunate. I haven't, but I count myself very fortunate. I'm lucky. But you know what I've learned, and it's always been a stickler for me, because my father passed away when he was 56. I was 14 at the time. And it's always been a stickler for me about how much time I've got on this planet. This last year has taught us that actually we've had to waste the last year to a large extent. And,
Yes.
you know, money comes and goes, but time only goes. So I would just say to people, isn't it time you're accountable for yourself, live life on your terms, and of course, grow a pair of cojones, because that will help you do so. But Deanna, I've enjoyed your company, and I am willing to, and more than happy to come on again, because I think I've cut you a bit short. I apparently have to go and pick up my boy, who's having a play date. So I hope that I'm not cutting you short.
No worries, no worries. This is real life, man. I've got my little Athena here on my lap. So
Well, let me show you my dog. Who's one? I've got two. Toffee, come here. Here he is, underneath here, my desk.
Oh, hi, baby. Oh, fur babies. I love them. I've got 4. I've got 2 dogs and 2 cats. So yeah, I got.
Oh wow! Well, I've got 2 dogs and a fish tank. What can I say?
All right, I love the fish too. Well, Keith, we'll have to have you back. Thank you so much for joining
Be
us.
delighted.
Yes, this was a lot of fun, and I love your book. I'm gonna have to grab one. You guys, this is your host Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.